Well, Hibino winning the spin. I think she elected to serve, but we will, of course, find out in due course whether that was the case. But we are just about all set for our second match of the day. The first meeting between these two. Japan's Nao Hibino, nearest to us, to the right of the chair, and Renata Zarazua. Hibino, the winner of 2 WTA titles, the first in Tashkent in 2015, and more recently her second coming in September of 2019 when she took the honours at the Japan Women's Open, defeating fellow Japanese Misaki Doi in the final. Misaki Doi, top seed in qualifying for this tournament, unable to make it through. And Hibino underlining her hardcourt pedigree furthermore last year at the start of 2020, reaching the semi-finals at Hua Hin, where, it should be noted, she recorded her first top 10 win, beating the then world number 4 Jelena Svitolina in straight sets. Also made the semis on clay in Strasbourg as well, defeating Sloane Stephens and Jelena Ostapenko before losing to Jelena Rybakina. But not in good form this year. 5 matches played, 4 defeats so far, and without a win since beating Astra Sharma in the first round of the Australian Open, making her 3rd main draw appearance in Miami. 26 years old, from Aichi in Japan. And facing Hibino today, the Mexican qualifier Renata Zarazua, world number 147, down just 6 places from her career high of 141, which she achieved last month. 23 years old, from Mexico City, now resident in Tampa, not too far away from here, of course. So almost a home match for her. And despite this recent ascent up the world rankings, like I say, climbing 100 places or so over the course of the last 2 years, main draw wins on the tour have been few and far between, but she has picked up a handful here and there, the majority on home soil, it has to be said. Last year making a first ever tour semi-final in Acapulco as a wildcard. And it was in Acapulco in 2018 where she registered her first main draw win. But outside of Mexico, victories have been few and far between. She had one in Bogota in 2018, and then very recently at the end of last year at the French Open in her first Grand Slam appearance. Having qualified for Roland Garros, she came through her first round match against the 17-year-old French player Elsa Jacquemot. Picked up almost $93,000 for her trouble. It was her biggest payday of her career by far. And a little bit of history for her as well to boot. The first Mexican woman to compete in a Grand Slam main draw since Angelica Gavaldon, who competed at the Australian Open in the year 2000. Still fairly overcast, but still fairly warm. Quite a muggy day, 25, 26 degrees right now. 20 past 1 in the afternoon, EST. Two very diminutive players on court. Hibino slightly shading it at 163, with Zarazua just an inch below at 1.60 m. And it will be, as I suspected, Hibino to start things off. She won the spin, she did elect to serve, and we'll see how she fares in her opening service game. Kerber awaits the winner in our second match on court 3 today. That's gorgeous from Zarazua. Really good game of cat and mouse in that particular exchange. Both players trying to second guess the other. And it was Zarazua who benefited, you have to say. Hibino perhaps just blinking first there. But back on track swiftly enough with a nice deep forehand into the corners. Ooh, just wide, unlucky from Zarazua, worth a go given the angle that was presented to her. And Hibino working hard for her opening service game. But it's the Japanese who takes the first game. nifty exchange between the pair. Both players keeping the ball on a very flat trajectory, and some good counter-punching from Hibino. All to no avail in the end. Fairly likely that Zarazua will enhance her current standing of 147. Following this, her debut main draw appearance in Miami. Has already benefited, I suppose, from the competitive game time that she's had on court so far this week in Miami, given the fact she's had a couple of qualifiers to play. Astra Sharma was seen off in 3 very hard-fought sets. The final sets in particular was a brutal ordeal for Zarazua. Ah, that's lovely play from Zarazua. Good variety in the way she was able to switch the flanks, and then the greatest variety of the lot with the angle drop shot from a very deep position as well. One corner to the other. Nicely played. Confident take as well from Zarazua, who, like I say, came through that tough match in qualifying against Sharma. Early sense of a breakthrough for the Mexican. Two break points. Yeah, good depth on the return, but Hibino quickly back on track in that rally. nicely finished off. Quickly had Zarazua on the run there. Didn't need to smack the case off the ball in putting away the winner, just had to just position it beyond the reach of her opponents. Nicely cushioned by Hibino. Well, good turnaround, saving 2 break points. Now Hibino. Zarazua squandering the opportunity to make the early breakthrough, and it's the Japanese who leads by 2 games to 1. So Zarazua at 1-2. Perhaps a little bit frustrated that she's managed to extend Hibino in both of the Japanese's service games so far, taking her to deuce on both occasions, but unable to find a way through. Could conceivably be 3 games to the good. As it is, she's 2-1 down, but going well so far in this service game. Yet to drop a point on serve, in fact, the Mexican. And not too many concerns on this service game so far either. think that was a foot fault called as well by the Hawkeye Live. A fault as well. Players' representatives did question whether the foot fault would be something that would be detected by Hawkeye Live, but it is something that they've factored into the equation, of course, as you might suspect. Then again, there are those who have questioned the accuracy of a foot fault call by Hawkeye Live, but well, by and large, the players have no complaints so far, given the circumstances we still find ourselves in. Oh, that's wonderful play. She stepped in on the second serve and then she came towards the net as well. Had the confidence to almost invite the challenge or invite the pressure from Zarazua, and then she just applied that cushioned cross-court volley. Very delicate touch from Hibino. 40 love. Back to juice. Nice play by Hibino with the reverse overhead, but needed more on it than that. And despite squandering that 40 love lead, Zarazua just about comes through her second service game unscathed to level things up at 2 games all. First match of the day on this court, won by Anna Konyuk, her first win at tour level for more than 3 years, 7-6, 7-5 against Katerina Siniakova. Good day for wildcards, actually. Anna Kalinskaya also through at the expense of Irina Camelia Begu, 4 and 6. Andrea Petkovic, who's in the draw using her protected ranking, 7-5, 6-1 winner against Zhang Shuai of China. And Danielle Collins also through, the American beating Kristina Mladenovic 3 and 3 just a short while ago. No surprise, by the way, that Bernarda Pera and Sara Sorribes-Tormo, who have both been involved in some epic matches this year, matches in excess of 3 hours, the pair of them. They've gone to a third set. And already they've been on court for more than 2.5 hours. And, well, Pera was serving for the match at 5-3, but she was broken. And Sorribes-Tormo was on the verge of levelling things up at 5 games all. So a little bit of tennis to be played in that one as well. Here on 3, Hibino and Zarazua, 2 games all, 15-30. Oh, that's nice backhand down the line. Just seemed to be applied with a little bit of topspin just to see it through. Well, her volleying today has been pretty much on song, but she didn't quite get her angles or elevations right with that one. That's wonderful play, really good turn of pace by Hibino. Backhand has worked well for her today so far. It's a good weapon that she's got, keeps it very low and very flat, and it's very difficult for Zarazua to read. And it was just that ability to turn on the heat there that caught the Mexican off guard. And that's long on the return, and Hibino, it's a recurring theme, holding once again. It's another juice game on serve, but once again she comes through. Certainly Zarazua has her chances on the Hibino serve, but every time she comes through with just that little bit too much in hand. 3-2, Hibino leads. Well, Zarazua has been knocking on the door in terms of trying to find a way through on the Hibino serve. And having failed to make any inroads so far, you just wonder whether that will eventually have any psychological impact. Once again, she finds herself chasing the game, chasing the match, 3-2 down. Just had that little bit too much time and room to work with Hibino. Signs here that Hibino might be all set to make her move. my word, she had to answer a lot of questions there, and Hibino once again came forward and made her move on the volley. This time she found the net. Zarazua putting in a lot of hard yards to keep herself going in that one. Oh, it was there for the taking, and that's going to be a huge source of frustration for Hibino. Maybe just caught in two minds there. Yeah, the call you heard was from next door, so it is a first serve. It was a let, just landing inside the service box. Nicely finished off with the backhand. And a love 30 deficit has swiftly been converted into a 40-30 advantage for the Mexican. That's drifting, and Zarazua comes through once again, and it's an intriguing first set. Both players have had their chances to make their move and seize the initiative, but so far 6 holes of serve, 3 games all. Final game before the ball change. Well, taking a chance, and I suppose on the Hibino serve at love 15 it was worth a go. Made reference to the qualifiers that Zarazua played to make it into the main draw in Miami for the first time. Sharma, 7-5 in the deciding set in round 1. She trailed 5-3 in that, in fact, did Zarazua. 2 hours 49 that match. Oh, well played. Had the confidence to take that backhand on the volley, sweeping backhand into the corners, and that's really what created the opportunity. just opened up the court that little bit too much, and Hibino was out of position. And Zarazua gets her reward. Well, she had break points in game 3. 2 of them failed to convert, and she has another opportunity now at 30-40. Aha, that's wonderful. Great way to save break point. Zarazua again covering the ground very swiftly to latch onto the end of that attempted drop shot, or the executed drop shot by Hibino. But it was all about Hibino's awareness and catching her out of position. Chance presents itself again, though. Hibino yet to establish a break point on her opponent's serve, whereas Zarazua now has had 4, and you just suspect this pressure might eventually tell. Well, then again, Hibino might have other ideas. Not the most blistering ace you're ever going to see, but it's all about the positioning and it's all about the placement. First ace of the match, and it saves that second break point. Well, there's a question here about whether Hibino's resilience will come to the fore once again. Well, I would have liked to have seen Zarazua just attack that second serve a little bit more. I thought she could have done a lot more with that. But again, the lovely soft hands from Hibino at the net. Very accomplished on the volley in the main today. Well, this is the longest service game that Hibino's faced. She's had 3 ordeals already prior to this one, but this is deuce number 4. And both players just beginning to feel the heat in more ways than one. And Hibino once again survives and once again does give another clear demonstration of her resilience. For the 4th time today, she comes through a service game that goes to deuce. That was a very long one as well, 4 deuces in the midst of that one, but it's the same outcome. And it's Hibino who leads by 4 games to 3. Well, you just wonder whether this will eventually take its toll on Zarazua. Four really good chances to find a way through. 2 in particular to find a way through on the Japanese serve, but so far 7 holes out of 7. Zarazua did have a much smoother ride in the second round of qualifying. She only had to play 10 games, in fact, against Viktoria Kuzmova, the Slovakian, retiring in the second set when trailing by a game to love, having lost the opener 6-3. And it was important, I think, for Zarazua to qualify here as well, because she didn't really make the most of her opportunities on home soil in the recent Mexican doubleheader in Guadalajara and also Monterrey. They are the opportunities for her to really pick up some money and pick up some points when she's the beneficiary of a wild card, as she was on both occasions this year. But unable to emulate her run to the semis in Mexico, in Acapulco in 2020. Just the 1 match win on home soil in that doubleheader. And that solitary win coming against Katarzyna Kawa of Poland in the first round in Guadalajara. Anna Karolina Schmiedlova accounted for her in round 2. Tamara Zidansek beat her in the first round in Monterrey. And they are the opportunities that she loves to make the most of, or has to make the most of if she's to enhance her standing. Zarazua once again, comparatively speaking, racing through her service game. Just that one game in the fourth where she was taken to deuce, but the rest very, very comfortable. Just 3 points conceded in the other 3 service games that she's had. 4 games all. Zarazua was at times dealing with a minor left knee injury in those 2 tournaments in Mexico recently, by the way. No sign of any labour so far, or any sign of struggle. No strapping, for example. No stretching between points. Looks as though she's addressed that. Came into this tournament with came into this match with a 7-5 win-loss ratio, win-loss record this year. Three of those match wins coming in Orlando last month, where she made the semi-finals of the ITF event there. Just the 1 set dropped en route to the last 4. That was in the opener against Haley Baptiste, the 19-year-old American who's here this week as a wildcard. That's another delightful angled forehand from Hibino. Katie Swan eventually proving too strong for Zarazua in the semis in Orlando. Well, Hibino seemed baffled by that, but we will get confirmation from the Hawkeye Live. Like I say, no real opportunity to challenge because the verdict, the image that the players see, will just cement the call that was made, or underline the call that was made. Yeah, tried to get that one back onto a flatter trajectory, and in so doing, just didn't quite get the timing right and just opened up the racket face a little bit too much. And the ball went wide, and Zarazua once again threatening on the Japanese serve. Well, almost a carbon copy. Break point. 5th time in this opening set so far for Zarazua. Is this the moment? There's the answer. At the 5th time of asking, Zarazua finds a way through. Hibino, you could argue, had been riding her luck at times on serve, and eventually the hand is forced, and Zarazua, with the break, will be serving for the opening set. 5-4. Well, it's been a very changeable day in the weather. The cloud has gathered once again. The sunshine has disappeared for the time being, but Zarazua won't stand on ceremony. 5-4. Great point, really great point. And a very neat and tidy way to finish things off as well. Lovely way to shift the body into the position to get the forehand on that little drop shot. That just opened things up ever so slightly. Needed more angle on the initial approach, but had the second opportunity with the lob. And it was an easy one in the end, with Hibino stranded inside the service line. Sorribes Tormo has come through that epic with Bernarda Pera, by the way. 2 hours 46, 7-5 in the decider. She trailed 5-3 in that one as well. So Sorribes Tormo through to the last 64 to face Jennifer Brady. Well, she's had to play a very patient waiting game today, Zarazua. It's been tough for her to try and find a way through on the Hibino serve, but looks as though she's going to make the most of this opportunity, having found the break in game 9. Perfect time to break. Oh, well, had she won the point from there, that would have been truly astonishing. She was out of camera shot for much of that exchange. Every credit to her, though. Once again, the resilience in abundance for Zarazua. Won't give up on anything. One set point remaining. Oh, she's angled it too much. Just caught after the bathroom break and after taking the opening set by 6 games to 4. 3 games without reply for the Mexican qualifier as well. Hibino needs to find a response. Just to illustrate what's happening later, after this match, Ollie Hogben will be taking over for commentary on matches 3, 4 and 5 on court 3. That's a wonderful reach by Hibino, but my word, Zarazua really covered the ground. She had to put on the afterburners here from a very deep lying position, and then she had to apply the control to that forehand as well. Zarazua is taking up some very deep lying positions on the Hibino serve, and it's making life difficult for the Japanese. It's very hard to find a way through because her court coverage at the back of the court is very impressive. Does seem to be able to make more of that low centre of gravity that she has. And not much is getting past her. And on that occasion, as she has done before many times today, she did really step in on that second serve as well, before quickly retreating, getting herself back into position. Clear how she has set herself up for this one. And not for the first time today by any stretch. Hibino taken to deuce on serve once again. 5th time in the match that she's found herself serving and the score's been deuce. Oh, nicely played. Really good, intelligent play from both there, actually. Much slower first serve. Zarazua slowed things right down with the return. Happy to, again, just get the rally going and then inject the pace. But it was Hibino who had the more rapid injection and the angle with the winner. Yeah, didn't step in as much on that second serve there, Zarazua, given the fact that Hibino had game point. Just played it a little bit more conservatively. Yeah, had to be. Again, she's very adept and very consistent at least forcing her opponent to play another shot. And all of this, I'm absolutely certain, will be taking its toll on Hibino, not just physically, but I think also between the ears as well. Time and time again, she is having to work really hard just to save or just to hold her serve. The break eventually came in game 9. It might come again. Well, there was good depth that time from Zarazua, but Hibino just had that little bit too much about her on that occasion, and once again she's come through unscathed after another very hard-fought service game. Yeah, so after this match, we have Ollie Hogben taking over the reins with the commentary for matches 3, 4 and 5. The first match on the agenda for him, the clash between Kazakhstan's Yaroslava Shvedova and Teresa Martinsova of the Czech Republic. Martinsova also coming through qualifying. Shvedova making use of her protected ranking as well to take her place in the main draw. The winner of that to face Bianca Andreescu in round 2, number 8 seed in Miami. Beautifully done. Too good. She's employed that very prudently and very effectively, I would suggest, today. Hasn't got it wrong on too many occasions. I can think of only one off the top of my head that I can recall whereby it hasn't quite worked out for her. But she's made some good decisions today, I think, Zarazua. She's played a very patient game as well. Didn't show too many signs of frustration when she was knocking on the door trying to find the break. And eventually the break came in game 9. Well, it's inevitable that sooner or later Hibino will have to start taking a few chances on the Zarazua serve. She's not really been close. Just the one game in the opening set whereby she took her to deuce on the Zarazua serve. But apart from that, she hasn't really threatened at all, and she is going to sooner or later have to start taking, or she's going to have to start taking chances. Nicely done. Nicely stepping in and nicely just shaping the body into the forehand volley. Not quite sure the reasoning behind Zarazua's decision to just loft that one back up. She had a chance to go down the line and be a little bit more aggressive, especially when she had 40 love on the scoreboard. Oh, the volleying again, spot on from Hibino. Beautifully cushioned. That was a difficult one to execute. She had to get down low and get down pretty fast as well. Just had to angle the racket perfectly on the half volley. And the ball stayed low. And it just died in time before Zarazua made up the ground and got there. 40 love becomes 40-30. Anxious times for the Mexican on serve now. And in she comes again. Well, her net play is good. She's obviously developed this reputation as a fairly effective doubles player as well. Her partnership with Miss Hibino has reaped its rewards over the years. In fact, she and Doi combined to win the doubles at the Japan Women's Open in 2019 when Hibino claimed her second tour singles title when she beat Doi in the final. That's lovely technique again. Just dealing with that slightly higher ball and just elevating herself into position and taking that one on the rise. Break point for Hibino. First time today. And it's a double fault that gives Hibino the first break of serve that she's had in this match. With her first break points, good efficiency from the Japanese, and from 40 love down, that's an impressive steal by the world number 83. Yeah, maybe not helped by the slight delay prior to the first serve. Yeah, she's down on the ground, she's okay. Zarazua clearly enjoying that particular execution. And little wonder as well. Well, what Hibino would give right now for a no drama or a error-free, drama-free, tension-free service hold. I think she fancied putting that one away on the volley had the call not come. Well, she's not the most vociferous player on court, but you may just have detected there a slight audible frustration from now Hibino. Oh, she's found a line as well. Again, she had to deal with the high ball, and again, she dealt with it very effectively. Just that little spring in the step, and that was a tight angle. Catching Zarazua very much off guard. One break point has been saved, one still to go. Either way, though, she saves the break points, but finds herself on a deuce game on serve once again. Well, value found in the way she came through once again. It's another tough ordeal, it's another rough ride for Hibino, but the scoreline more than satisfying for her at the halfway stage of this second set. Leading as she does by 3 games to love. In Mexico recently. Work to do here though for Zarazua, serving at love 3. Once again, frustration for the Mexican that she couldn't convert break points. That's 3 times now in this match that she's squandered 2 break points in a single game. And they are essentially the fine margins that can win and lose matches. You break down any tennis match over 1.5 to 2 hours, and eventually, or essentially, it will boil down to a few key moments here and there. This second set, however, might well hinge on Zarazua's ability to come back from love 40 down. If she doesn't, I suspect that could be that. Three break points converted at the first time of asking. And that's the most comfortable ride that Hibino has had in this match so far. And this second set could be over very swiftly indeed. 4-love for the Japanese. Maybe a little life left in Zarazua though in this second set just yet. Well, it looks comfortable for Hibino, but these are the situations where players can find themselves caught in a trap because while you have a 4-love lead, you want to make absolutely certain you protect your lead or certainly don't squander the lead, so caginess can set in. That's just long, even though the argument might be that, okay, you're 4-love up, you've got nothing to lose, and you may as well just press home your advantage. That was not far out, was it? Look at that. Talking of fine margins. All well and good playing with a degree of comfort when you are 4-love to the good, but there is a danger that you can just be that little bit too conservative. And Zarazua, on the other hand, with effectively a free hit now, all of a sudden has a break point. Risky, and she's punished. And Zarazua is given a bit of a foothold in this second set from a very unlikely source. And this time there's good efficiency with the break point. One opened up, one converted, 4-1. Hibino leads. Well, this is where I would like to see Hibino just step up the aggression levels again. I mean, she still has to be aware of the situation that if she continues to hold serve, then the second set will be hers. I think if she can treat this as an exercise whereby if she can take something off Zarazua on her serve, then all well and good. Oh, how many chances did she want? And how many chances did Hibino want to give her? I think she'll need to develop a cutting edge, Hibino, at some point as well. I mean, some of her angled volleys today have been sublime, but there it was all very conservative. Oh, now, that was close. It was on the line, but I don't think she meant it to be so close. That's wonderful. That's what I was talking about. That's exactly what Hibino has to do in this situation. Beautiful attack on the first serve. Just needed that little bit more depth and width. It was presentable and she stepped into it really nicely. Oh, she had the angle there as well. It was ideal for her. She's pulled off similar already today. That was a difficult one to execute. Oh, well, her resilience and I think her defence deserved at least something from that, and it's a shame it culminated and finished up in the way it did, because I would argue she'd done the hard work there. Oh, nice switch from Zarazua. Hibino might have anticipated going down the line, or at least anticipated Zarazua going down the line, but it was a really effective cross-court switch with the lob. And all of a sudden, there's a very different emphasis on the scoreboard now. Hibino leads 4-2. Well, that would have been a very unlikely point for Hibino had she come out on top. She made the move forward. It was a very questionable decision, I have to say. And once again, Zarazua couldn't find a way through. The lob was there, but she couldn't quite execute it. Hibino not too convincing with the volleys in response. Serving at 4-2. Well, this is Hibino's third main draw appearance in Miami. She's yet to win a match here in the main draw, suffering round one defeats on her debut in 2016 and again 3 years later. And she's in danger of not only allowing Zarazua back into this set, but also of squandering it in two. Well, no wonder she's bouncing around behind the baseline now, because she has somehow retrieved the two breaks and she's back on serve at 4-3. Well, a body language expert would find that fairly revealing. I think she looks a little bit panic-stricken all of a sudden. And it's almost a microcosm of her career at times. You look at last year, for example, Hibino, semi-finalist at Hua-Hin, semi-finalist in Strasbourg. But in between, 5 defeats in 6 matches, with opening round defeats at Indian Wells, the 125k there, the Western and Southern Open, first round in qualifying, first round exit at the US Open, and the first round defeat in qualifying for Rome. Very hot and cold, very all or nothing from Hibino at times. Yeah, just wide, unlucky. And just to further illustrate the point I was making a short while ago, you look at 2019 as well, when Hibino won her second tour title at the Japan Women's Open. Prior to that week, in September of 2019, in Hiroshima, Hibino had won only one first-round match at full tour level all year. And that match in question was in Monterrey against a Mexican wildcard, Juliana Olmos. 2-hour battle, that one. Came through the third set tiebreak 7-5. In a match, I recall, she committed in excess of 50 unforced errors that day as well. But it's just that inability to establish any consistency, whether it's in the course of a year, in the course of a match, in the course of a career, maybe you could argue as well. And certainly a lack of consistency today could well come back to haunt her and could well cost her a place in round 2 and a first ever win in the main draw in this event. Because at the moment it's all Zarazua. It's relentless, like an Aztec warrior. She's reeled off another game, and it's 4 without reply. And she has the momentum. And Hibino needs to get her act together pretty quickly, I would suspect. She's just not winning many points at all. 5 points she's won over the course of the last 4 games. Look at the way Zarazua is just latching onto everything. And she's just predator-like behind that baseline. And she knows that if she can just keep forcing her opponent to play the ball, the errors will be forthcoming, because they have crept up alarmingly for Hibino over the course of the last 4 games. This time it's a put away by Hibino. Again, it didn't look comfortable, but it's enough to get the job done. Brilliant play by Zarazua. 5 backhands in reply. 5 backhands in succession, including the return. And she was either able to keep the ball very low or put the ball in dangerous positions in the corners in the main. Really effective tactics from Zarazua. Really smooth motion about that backhand as well. Playing with a lot of confidence right now. Bang on cue, the backhand is into the net. First serve, that was way beyond the service line. Eiji Takeuchi in the Hibino camp once again. Worked with her for some time now. He was also present at Hiroshima 2 years ago when she won that title. That's a very important hold for Hibino as well. Just stops the rot, doesn't it? 4 games without reply for Zarazua, but Hibino still with other ideas and still in the ascendancy. Zarazua serving shortly to stay in the set at 4-5. Well, here we are. Not so long ago, Hibino was under pressure. All of a sudden, she's in possession of a set point. And she finishes it off with a trademark volley. It served her well today in the main, and she's rediscovered her touch at just the right time, just when she was under the most significant pressure from Renata Zarazua. Hibino hits back and forces the decider, taking the second set 6-4. Well, Hibino coming through a real ordeal in that second set, losing 4 games on the spin to threaten to capitulate, but she just went back to the well one more time and was able to salvage 2 games to see her through. Fast approaching the 2-hour mark in this one. Ten games each on the scoreboard. And question marks, I suspect, about Zarazua and how she'll be feeling after squandering that situation. She looked to be in the ascendancy. Nothing wrong with that, though. First 8 games of the match failed to yield a single break of serve. We've had 6 in the meantime over the course of 12 games. Zarazua making her main draw debut in Miami. Hibino yet to win a main draw match in Miami. Oh, this time the volley on the overhead smash, not so true, and neither was the volley that preceded it either. Needed much more angle on it, and it just allowed Zarazua back in far too easily. And again, the build-up play had been good by Hibino. The forehands into the corners were effective. They did their job. Break point. And that's disappointing from Zarazua's point of view, because she had, over the course of that second set, just begun to master the art of the breakpoint conversion. 2 from 2 to get back on terms at 4 games all. Can't find a way through there, however. Oh, it's found the line, and once again the volley from Hibino. That was the opportunity. Had the chance to put that one away. More out than in, but it clipped the line. That's all it has to do. Breakpoint number 2 for the Mexican. just wide. Zarazua doing the sensible thing in the midway point of that rally, just hoisting the ball back into the air just to buy herself that little bit of thinking time and breathing space, and it paid dividends in the end. She gets the early break in the decider. 1-love. Zarazua can't believe it. She felt that was wide, but again, there's no recourse here. Just another example of Hibino's precision that has eluded her in the main since the first set. I actually thought some of her accuracy in the first set was better than in the second, even though she lost the opener. Well, she gave her half a chance on the defensive. Maybe she was just anticipating that Zarazua would make some sort of a move cross-court, but she never did. And it will perhaps come as no surprise to see that Hibino has hit back straight away 2 break points of her own. Always felt there'd be more than one break of serve in this deciding set, and it may well come to pass in game 2. It's found the line. Both players seem to be striking the ball with a good deal of confidence then. Both players seem to have suddenly started putting a lot of faith in their own abilities once again, and in their shot making. Well, Zarazua has got away with that. Absolutely baffled as to why she didn't go down the line when she had the opportunity. That surely had to be the percentage play. And in the end, it was a presentable opportunity for Hibino that I'm pretty sure she didn't anticipate or expect. 2 break points have been squandered. Zarazua game point for 2-love. Just long. Nice idea, risky, but having dragged her opponent towards the net, maybe the play there was to go cross-court with the lob, just to make life extra difficult for Hibino. It would have given Zarazua a little bit more court to work with the lob as well. Valuable point for Zarazua. Tension tangible on court 3. High quality exchange at a very critical point of the match. And Zarazua saves 2 break points and doubles her lead at the start of the 3rd and final set. Fine margins in play once again. A break of serve in a deuce game to start things off, a hold of serve in another deuce game to back it up. And Hibino once again with it all to do. Serving at love 2. Perfect angles once again from Hibino. That's another facet of her game, another approach to her game that she needs to, I think, work with a little bit more. It's served her well in the main. That's beautiful. That's really well played. Could have gone either side there, really. And sensibly went to the Hibino backhand into the advantage court. Slightly narrower down that channel as well, so any contact may well have culminated in a forced error from Hibino. I think Zarazua is thinking very clearly as well. And Zarazua knows that if she can pick up a couple of points herself. She knows that Hibino is likely to produce one, maybe two of her own as she chases the game now. Two break points for a 3-love lead. Just went a little bit spongy with that backhand. Again, she was forced wide, and again Hibino found a friend in the angles cross court. I'd like to see Hibino go wide a little bit more on this first serve into the advantage court. She's done it. And even though I think she adopted the right approach that time with the first serve, there is another free point for Zarazua, and it's a double break. Not an insurmountable challenge by any stretch, given the way this match has panned out so far, but Zarazua looking good at 3-love. Well, it's very much Zarazua's match to lose now, but as I said, in a match of this nature, it can easily turn. 2 breaks down, Hibino, no margin for error on the Zarazua serve now. 4-love would give her that extra breathing space. Needs to find a way back in sooner or later, the Japanese. Really coming in for that second serve again. And almost playing with the mind of Zarazua maybe by stepping in that little bit more. Well, sensing an opportunity, I feel, here. And Hibino wasting little time. in establishing a good chance to get one break of serve back. 2 break points as a result of that ability to find the lines a little bit more consistently. Well, again, she had a couple of short balls to work with there, Zarazua. She didn't make the most of them. And once again, she fluffs her lines with the lob. And that's just come back to haunt her once again. Two breaks to one in favour of the Mexican. Hibino serving at 1-3. I think that cross-court volley works for her when it's at a certain height. When there's a little bit of elevation on it, when it's above or round about shoulder height, maybe chest height, it's a little bit more of a balancing or a fine art, if you like. And that one has been shanked wide as well. Just a little bit too tight to the body. Didn't open the body up enough there. Racket was very tight in, wasn't it? Big point for Zarazua, that one. Hibino thought she'd done enough, I feel. It was all moving into place for her. But once again, the unforced error is Zarazua's friend. Love 40. Oh, beautifully played. And again, there we have it. A classic example of when the chips are down and the shackles are off, just try the little bit more adventurous shot and the reward is forthcoming. Wonderful play, really good play. The second serve was nice and tight on the far sideline as well, or the near sideline to the chair. Plenty to ponder for Zarazua. Surely has to be the point this time, and it is. And Hibino, having worked so hard to get back to 30-40, is unpicked by Zarazua. A really well-crafted point to re-establish that lead of 3 games. 4-1 in the decider. Just the one hold of serve in this final set so far. All of which suggests, I should say, that Hibino should not be discounted just yet. But you'd rather be in Zarazua's shoes right now. 2 games away from setting up a last 64 encounter with the multiple Grand Slam champion Angelique Kerber, the number 24 seed. And again, those games, or the games where Zarazua has been gifted a couple of cheap points, are the ones where she has really capitalised and done well at seizing upon. That's gorgeous. Backhand winner. That'll make her feel like $1 million, that one. She knows she is close. And close to what would be a very significant victory in her career. Not too many occasions has she won a tour level main draw match outside of Mexico. But she's on the verge of doing that here today. 5-1 to the good in the decider. Her first such victory in Bogota in 2018. And of course there was that momentous Grand Slam debut at the French Open last year when she beat Elsa Giacomo in round 1. Gave Svitolina a good workout in round 2 as well in defeat. 3 sets against the then world number 5. Took the second set 6-love that day. But she's on the verge of picking up another win on foreign soil in this main draw debut appearance in Miami. Love 30. Oh, she's pulled it off. That's astonishing. I really feared for her when I saw her sizing up what appeared to be the drop shot, and the execution was absolutely spot on. 3 match points for Zarazua. This time, she's undone by the drop shot. Only so many times it will work out for you. Just in danger here of allowing these match points to slip away rather cheaply. And that is a very significant win for Mexico's number 1, Renata Zarazua, on her main draw debut in Miami. She comes through against the Japanese number 3.